most reasonable people know, the judicial process allows for the right to question and allows for the right to appeal. Or is Deputy Richmond naive enough to say, mistakes are never made and there has never been a miscarriage of justice? If I can just say one name to you, Deputy Richmond, Maurice McCabe, would that suggest to you that there have been no mistakes and no miscarriages of justice? Again, we have another line from the article here where it says, Aaron was on the run in New York. How in heaven's name would anyone be on the run living in the middle of the Irish community in Woodlawn and Yonkers? He was involved in playing Gaelic football. He was involved in a Gaelic football team and was regularly in Gaelic Park most Sundays. He was continuously on social media during the week, pictures of excavators, diggers, pile drivers, drilling machines. So again, we see here very clearly, and it highlights another example of a curated story, a manufactured story, a story that is totally misleading. Mr Richmond continues in the article and goes on to say, it's a very worrying and misleading campaign. There is nothing misleading about our campaign, Mr Richmond. We have presented the facts as they were shown in court and we are highlighting what was omitted. All this has done, all our campaign has done, has shown what people feel is a very carefully and selected version of a story presented by the prosecution. And again, by most reasonable people standards, 81 and 87% respectively from our poll, have seen enough to cast serious doubt on the key points of evidence used and the selective and curated information and how the standard of evidence used is questionable. Mr Richmond, you urged other members of the Oireachtas that received our letters not to engage with us. So you, Mr Richmond, an elected representative, are disregarding the judicial process. The process is good enough as you see it on one hand, i.e. you're saying that the conviction is safe, but the process isn't good enough on the other hand, i.e. to engage in an appeal and our right for freedom of speech. You think you have the right to select when a voice can and cannot be heard. And against your advice and your request, I ask all TDs and all members of the Oireachtas that received our letters, please look at those letters. And we'll say once again, we're not asking anyone to make that judgment of Aaron's guilt or innocence. But what we are asking to get to that point is look at the whole story, the whole evidence and the whole facts. As this article desperately closes, once again we see these vague mentions of witness intimidation. Now we have launched videos in relation to this and it can show that Brady's intimidated no one in relation to this case. So Deputy Richmond, I am calling on you, I am asking you to come forward and have a public debate on this. You bring your facts forward as you have them and I will bring mine. And let the public vote on whether or not this is an outrageous campaign. And once again, I'd like to say, truth is only an enemy in a world full of lies.